Good evening, my friend. Welcome to WDW Radio Live, and more importantly, welcome home. I am Lou Mangello. It is Wednesday night, my favorite night of the week, as I get to spend and share it with you if you are watching live. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're watching on the replay, don't forget to join us here every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and it feels like forever since we have been together. I know it's been like crazy recently with travel. Last week we were finally on our WDW Radio Adventure, not Adventures by Disney, our WDW Radio group cruise on the Disney Fantasy to Bermuda and Bahamas. If you're watching live in the chat and were with us, please let me know. Unfortunately, was not able to go live while we were there, but it was once again a remarkable event. I see Grace is here, who was there with us. Let's see who else was there. Lori, unfortunately, Lori, you should have been there. You weren't there. Beatrice Dennis, of course, was there. Our first time in the Disney Fantasy in, if memory serves correct, 7 years. 7 years. 7 years since we've been on the Fantasy. 7 years since we've done a cruise that's longer than 5 days. And it was the Disney Fantasy's first time ever doing not one, not two, not three, not seven, but 8 days, including our first trip ever to Bermuda, an overnight in Bermuda. And we'll talk more about this on the show, but it was an absolutely fun trip. It was a great group of people that we had with us, including a lot of first-time cruisers, which I thought was really interesting. Got to do things we have never done before, again, including the overnight in Bermuda really made this trip very special. I forgot almost how beautiful the Disney Fantasy is, and the ship wasn't full, right? It was not a full ship, so it doesn't feel necessarily full, and there was a lot of times that we felt like we had the venues to ourselves, including but not limited to our pajama party late night in the adult district. If you want to get looks from other cruisers, don't just walk around with lanyards on all day or walk around with a scavenger hunt in your hand the entire time you're on the cruise, but more importantly, get a group of somewhat adults together in the adult district late night having snacks and in our pajamas. So it was a great time. Again, we'll talk more about it on a future episode of the show. But, I was thinking today as I was getting ready for the show tonight, and by getting ready for the show tonight, I meant 5 minutes before the show got started. I'm in the midst of, I have my Momentum weekend retreat coming up that really starts tomorrow. I've got another event in the morning, and then prepping for the our sort of mastermind retreat this weekend. But I was thinking about a lot of the events that we've done and been able to do together over the years. And it's funny. I just did an interview a couple days ago for a show, and there's one actually I just posted that I recorded a while back with somebody. Just went live on Monday, and the word community comes up a lot when I speak, and it comes a lot when I do coaching and presentations and things like that. And community's almost become a bit of a buzzword for some people. It's become almost taken over by marketing. But it's not, right? We talk about the authenticity of community, and I saw it in action again at this event, and it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you and watching strangers, right, who have this sort of common thread of not just Disney, but the show, coming together and watching friendships form and watching relationships form. And people would come to me, and I'm not sure if he's here tonight. If he is, I'll call. Somebody came up to me and said, I love our table mates, right? I love the people that you put us together with at dinner. Like, I can see us not just cruising with them again with you, but I can see us hanging out together beyond the cruise. And it's a common recurring theme. And huge thanks to Becky from Mouse Fan Travel, Grace, and everybody else from the Mouse Fan Travel team in helping to set up things like dining and putting people who we think would be good friends or who already are good friends and are cruising together again, because it's very demonstrative of the word community that we talk about. Darren is here. I love Darren and his wife. I'm not sure who has, there may not be anybody else. I don't know. But it's close. There's a few people that have fun no matter where they go, that always just exude Joy and Darren and his wife are two of those people. They are always having fun. They're always in matching costumes. They come to every event, and I just love seeing that. And I loved, and I one of my favorite things that we did on this cruise was almost a relative sort of throwaway. And I say that affectionately because we do, in addition to everything that happens on the cruises, we try and do a number of different events and things both on the ship and off the ship that people can choose as much to do as much or as little as they would like, but we still want to give enough time for you to enjoy the ship and the cruise or the adventure or whatever it might be. And one of the things that we started doing a few years ago was a pin trading meet. Sometimes it would be combined with an ice cream social. Even though I'm not a sweets guy, it doesn't matter. And, I'm not a pin trader per se, but I love doing this because it's a way to get people to meet each other and interact with each other. So I would give pins out at our welcome center to everybody who came on the cruise. And then I started just buying pins in bulk and then having sort of display boards or display books at either Castaway Key or up on deck on the ship. And this year, and it happened a little bit last year, but I really loved seeing it this year. So we did it on Castaway. It was a it was like a perfect day on Castaway Key. And I laid the books and some of the display things out. And the intent is not, deep down in the back of my mind, is not just for the people who are in our group and who are on the cruise to come together and trade pins. Right? I give them pins to start trading. And then I had a bag of about 200 more. And I said, look, just go in, grab a handful and trade or keep whatever you want. It's just something fun that people can do together and sometimes start friendships and relationships or maybe even become pin traders or take those pins and go trade with somebody else. But something different happened this year that I love, just sort of stepping back and watching. One, when people start trading pins, you'll get, some looky-loos kind of coming by saying, what are you doing? I say, look, it's fine. If you're not part of the group, come in. But so many crew members were coming over and I have video of it and I'll pull a video together. By the way, if anybody can help edit video very quickly with very quick turnaround time, please reach out to me because I need help. But I'm going to put this video together and these crew members were beaming ear to ear, including, and I forget her name, this one crew member from England who came over. She's been on the ship just a couple of months and she thanked me 5 times. I said, look, grab some pins too. Go ahead, trade with the kids, trade with whatever's in there, trade with each other. And they were so happy to be doing that again. And then, of course, and I get this from my dad, because my dad always did this. The other kids, there'd be a bunch of kids starting to come around and look around. I said, look, even if you're not part of the group, that's fine. You don't have a pin, that's fine. Reach in the bag, grab a handful of pins and just start trading. And there was this gaggle of kids and group members and family members and crew members just having such a good time trading silly pins, right? Trading silly pins that, it's not the value of the pin itself, although sometimes it's the value of the pin to you. But I just loved, and Dad, I get it. I understand why you loved watching kids and adults act like kids have such a good time. And I think the pin trading meet may have been my single favorite moment because you didn't have to know trivia. You didn't have to get up on stage and do anything. You didn't have to, win something. Everybody won, not just because everybody got a pin, but everybody who was there won because I saw the kids making friends with each other and the crew members talking to, people from our group and people from our group talking to people who weren't in our group saying, I've seen you guys all around the ship. Everybody just has these lanyards on with the credentials. Who are you? What are you doing? So it's a way to come full circle. It's a way for our community to be not just friends, to be family, but to it has this wonderful, positive ripple effect that I loved seeing. And I love being able to be a small part of that and just sort of stand back and watch that happen. Or, I talk about choosing the good and doing, a small positive thing has a ripple effect. Giving a kid or giving that kid's parents a couple of pins and then giving them the pins and saying, listen, go in and take one more. And when you go to dinner tonight, give it to your server. Give it to the person who, you give it to your head server and your beverage server, just as a little way to say thank you, because Castaway was at the end of the cruise. And again, their eyes light up I can do that. I said, of course, because that they're going to do that. and they're going to have that moment. They're going to make somebody else's day better and positive. And it does. I think it has this ripple effect. And it was really, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, this is it. Like, this is what it's all about. This is what this is all about, right? This idea of doing things together and creating community and being a family, as opposed to, a quote unquote, a group. So if you were there, if you were part of that, thank you. If you've ever come to a live event, thank you. If you've ever come to a group adventure, a group cruise, a meet of the month, thank you for doing that and hopefully continuing to spread that positivity out beyond the confines sometimes of, the group that a group starts in. So, Fred, it is the practice of giving of oneself that is very powerful. I agree. And the thing that you give doesn't have to be a physical, tangible, valuable thing. It can be a gesture. It can be a little $2 pin. It can be something like that. But it does pay. It does pay a lot of dividends, not just for you, but for the people that you do it for. So very quickly, right? Let's sort of just do a little unofficial, unscheduled, unprompted, off the top of my head mini poll for those of you who are watching live, or if you're watching on the replay, you can comment as well. Let me know, have you ever come to a WDW Radio event before? And an event can be any, and if so, which one? Was it a meet of the month? Was it a group cruise? Was it an on-the-road event, which are coming back, by the way? Was it an Adventures by Disney? Like, what sort of events have you come to before? And if you've never come to an event, why not? Right? Why not? Why have you not come? Sometimes it's just a matter of timing, but I know sometimes people would say, yeah, I was going to go to a meet of the month and I'm scared. I'm not very social. I just sort of sit. And that's okay too, because it is a very warm and welcoming group, and we do a lot of things to really encourage people to come, but more importantly, encourage people to feel not just welcome, but that you belong, because you do. The idea that we're friends whether we've met yet or not is not a line. I didn't sort of, put that into AI and say, spit out something that's meaningful. No, it's meaningful because it's true. We really are friends, whether we have met yet or not. Andrew says, Lou, your pins is exactly the spirit of feeding the birds of Mary Poppins, and I believe close to Walter. Andrew, that may be the nicest thing that anybody said to me in a long time, because you not only mentioned Mary Poppins, but Walt Disney. So thank you for that. Ray says, I'm coming to a lot of meets of the month after we move down next month. Ray, I've been following along the progress of building and moving, and I love that. Looking forward to seeing more of you. Starlet says, Starlet, we had such a good time. Thank you again for being there. We gave a couple of pins to the person selling tickets at the museum in Bermuda. She literally had tears running down her cheeks. It made her, see, that's it, right? You made that person's day, and it made you feel good too, right? Sometimes the act of giving is better than receiving. I get why my dad on his birthday, always gave everybody a gift. Like, he would go out and buy gifts for everybody, not just family, but friends who may have been over for his birthday. One, because it was the way he was, right? He was very, very generous with that. But I also get that there was that good feeling that it probably gave him too. Christine has been on the Marvel cruise. As you talk about cruises, I'm hearing the Princess Cruises ship leaving and playing the Love Boat theme. I loved the Love Boat, by the way. Quick little trip down memory lane. I used to love the Love Boat. Hannah says, I haven't been able to join yet, but I would love to. Oh, Becky Mankin has actually been to some WDW Radio events. Which one? Don't list them all, because we know that you've been to 91.4% of them. So, and now she's screaming, why did you leave out the other 8.3%? Jeffrey, sadly not. Hopefully one day. They've never been scheduled during the trip. So I know sometimes it's just a matter of, there's never a perfect time, right? There's never a perfect time for everyone. But Becky and I we spent a lot of time together on the cruise. And there's a lot of plans in the works for land and sea and air and on the road. I'm going to be bringing back the on the road events in a number of different capacities, including ones that I haven't shared with Becky yet. That's the sound of Becky freaking out. Brett, it was so good to hang out with you too, brother. First meet of the month and second WDW Radio Cruise. Valerie's been to 2 dessert parties, which we normally do around other events or as part of weekend-long events. Maybe one of those that's coming up sooner rather than later. I cannot wait to share details of some of what we are working. We're working on so much. I was looking at my calendar today and I was like, Becky and I have talking about 2025 and the word 2026 came up once and I could not go that far out. Brian Jones, Meet of the Month at Star Wars Weekends back 10 years ago in 2013, also at the Mall of America. Mall of America was probably 2014, 13, somewhere around there. I was speaking at, I was a keynote speaker at TBEX, a conference that was being held not far from the Mall of America. We did a meetup there. That was a lot of fun up in the food court by the French fry place. And there's like a theme park inside the Mall of America. Whatever. Mary says, now that I live in Orlando, I plan on coming to the meetups of the month. Kim, I did a meet of the month and a group cruise on the Wish last year. Angela Batista, December meet of the month, plus the Very Merry Time cruise on the Wish. Love Angela. Love her kids. If you're watching, kids, I can't wait to hang out with you again. I know I don't get to come on some of your next adventures. That's fine, but I promise we will hang out once again. And that's the other thing too, right? 99.999% of the things that we do have always been and will always be family friendly, kid friendly, whether it is a meet of a month, whether it is a group cruise. Our adventures by Disney have been family friendly too, because I do believe as much as possible to be able to include everybody in it. Speaking of, by the way, wait, before I forget, speaking of, while I'm thinking of it, speaking of group events and group adventures, our next one is going to, well, maybe not our next one, but one coming up later on this year is our Nat Geo Expedition, our Danube Christmas Market River Cruise, December 9th through the 16th. We talked about it on a couple of shows ago with some folks from Adventures by Disney and Nat Geo. Keep in mind, please, that we have a very special, thanks to MEI and MouseFan Travel for all your vacation planning needs, we have a special exclusive discounted rate on this cruise. It's $750 off per person. Friday is the last day to take advantage of the discount. So if you're interested in joining us, go to www.com/natgeo23. So yes, this Friday, April 28th, is the last day to take advantage of that discount. The ship is smaller. It is filling up. So availability may be limited, and you definitely want to take advantage of that discount because you can convert the money that you save into, and I'm quoting the Adventures by Disney guides, gingerbread and sausage. Not necessarily in that order and not exclusively limited to gingerbread and sausage, but there's going to be a lot of both while we are there. So just wanted to quickly remind you that. Jonathan Embry, love seeing you, brother. Love them. Done Meets of the Month. Was on one of the Alaska cruises and the Wish cruise. Mike has done several meets. Very Merry Time cruise. Gosh, I loved celebrating the holidays on board the ship. So much fun. Dessert parties. Hoop-de-doo. What Hoop-de-doo is a blast. I absolutely loved Hoop-de-doo. I love doing all these things together. Like these events, and especially cruises. Like I don't know. Like I've been on one Disney since we started this thing back in 2004, really, when I started all this. I think I've only done one Disney cruise, other than a mini cruise that was not a group cruise, and it felt very weird. It felt very weird and different not to have a group of us together, because even though you don't do everything together, as you walk around the ship and you see other people in lanyards and credentials, or we're all together, seating together at dinner, or we do bingo together. Congratulations to Grace and so many other people that won at bingo, by the way. It just hits different, right? It's a different feeling, and you enjoy these things on a very, very different level. So Anthony did the Meet of the Month last April at Everglades. That was like when we were first. That was the first event I did post-COVID, right? That was the first sort of meetup and group event that we did post-COVID. Plus, by the way, there was donuts. And I believe some of you also got funky chicken sandwiches, as well you should. So Justin says, not yet. Let's talk about the trip to Europe. Justin, if I start talking about our trip to London and Paris, it's going to take place in spring of 2024, and try and give additional details, Becky Menken is going to, as they say, blow up my phone with some very non-Disney. We are waiting on just a couple of details. We should have more information and a specific date probably in the next, dare I say, week or two, to know exactly when the London-Paris trip is going to take place. Patty says this group trip was our first. We will definitely be back. Jerry is looking forward to a future Meet of the Month. Now that we know others in this community since the cruise in last December, and that's what happens, right? We get together. You come in as a stranger. You come in as somebody who maybe not know anybody, and you leave with not just introductions, but friends and relationships. So Marla Chan's first Meet of the Month was December in 20. Marla, it feels like I've known you forever, even though you live on the West Coast, I live on the East Coast. Various Meets of the Month, Epcot Forever Dessert Party, Harmonious Dessert Party. And, you know, Marla, you are a poster child for giving with no expectation of receiving. Part of this horrible physique that I now have, thanks to Italy and the cruise, is also due to Marla, because you always bring, or you send, I'm not a sweets guy, but you bring the most delicious like chocolates and candies, and your warmth and generosity is more meaningful than you know. Fred Abley, of course, momentum counts. These people are crazy, but lovable and inspiring, but mostly crazy. I'm not sure if you mean the momentum people or the WDW Radio people. There's certainly a lot of overlap between the two, which, by the way, as long as you say it, let me not forget, early bird tickets are now on sale for you, actually just for everybody. I just opened them up this week. We are almost 50% sold out. So if you are looking to build your business or your brand, or you're just starting out, want to take things to the next level, learn more by going to LouMongello.com, click on Momentum. You can take advantage of our early bird. Momentum sells out every year. It's limited to 50 people. I think we're going to sell out way sooner than we have in the past. So if you're interested, take advantage of the early bird, $100 off your weekend workshop and the optional mastermind day ticket on Monday. And oh, by the way, did I mention it's in Walt Disney World, and it's also during the Food and Wine Festival. Thank you very much. Let's see. L'Oreal Very Adventures by Disney to China. What a memorable, special, impactful, right? When you see some of the things that we saw there, and I don't just mean the Great Wall, I don't just mean Tiananmen Square, but I will never forget, and this is part of what the ABD difference is when we were in Beijing and we were brought to this home, this family, small group of us we separated a little bit. As part of the ABD, we're brought to the home of a family and literally came inside and sat in their living room. I watched a little girl come home, sit in the kitchen and do her homework as the mom taught us to make authentic, like, Chinese crafts and explained to us everything and gave us a tour of her very small but very wonderful, like, little home. Those are the things that you do on an ABD that not only stay with you, obviously, but you could never do anywhere else. And it's one of the reasons why I love that so very much. Your dad sounds amazing. He was, and I'm sad that he is gone. But hopefully I'm doing a halfway decent job of trying to continue the legacy and the things that he was teaching me, without even me realizing that I was learning along the way. That's, I think, our job as parents. Emily says, we really need to get on a Marvel cruise someday. Emily, I love how you guys had such a wonderful time. Every time I saw you, you guys were smiling. You had your ears on, your matching shirts on. I just loved seeing that, and just how much. You not only just did things on your own, but did so much with the group as well. Becky says, I have good news on that one thing. Becky, we talked about no less than 111 different things while we sat down on this cruise. I'm assuming I know which one it is, but I have no idea. I have literally no clue. Let's see. One wish for more meets of the month earlier in the day, as I tend to work later in the day and on weekends. So, Jonathan, I'm going to experiment with that a little bit, right? I've always tried to do them on weekends, usually in the middle of the day, so people don't have to worry about getting up early or missing dinner or having plans later on. But we're going to play around with some different times, because there's some locations that I'd like to go to that I think would lend themselves better to earlier in the morning, and some later. I have one that I cannot wait to do that I'm going to tie into a Wednesday night live broadcast. I've already got plans in the works. I've got a relationship with somebody to sort of set it all up. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll bet there's a good portion of you that have never been there before and have never seen this before. So I got to leave a little bit of a tease. Elizabeth, D23 Expo. I think that's when we first met in person, right? When your husband, Darren, gifted you a membership, a platinum membership in the WDW Radio Nation, right? Wasn't that it? It's the gift that keeps on giving all year long. By the way, if you are a member of the Nation, let me see you. Raise your hand. However, you can sort of virtually raise your hand, because thank you. None of this happens without you. Speaking of people that I love, admire, and respect, Steven Schussler from the Boathouse. Also someone that I have not seen in way too long, my friend. You need to give me just a tiny bit of notice. When you know that you're coming to World, I will make my way down and just come and say hello to you, shake your hand, and give you a hug, and catch up with you at the Boathouse, which still remains my favorite place on the planet. And now I see that I saw pictures. There's a new outside dock area being built, so I need to come and check it out for research purposes only. Plus, I want to make sure that the quality of the coriander seared tuna and the filet sliders and the seafood tower and the mac and cheese with the andouille sausage and shrimp, or the lobster, whatever you choose. Just want to make sure it's up to Steve. I'm your quality control guy on the ground. I'm like your spy. You can send me in whenever you want me to sort of just check things out, make sure everything's running smoothly. I'm a giver. I'll do that for you. Just send me in like once or twice a week. It's fine. I'm happy to do that for you. Brian Jones, I do remember the disco fries. I love me some disco fries. Grace says, oh my gosh, let's go back to Bryant Park and not get arrested this time. Kind of, sort of, not really. Bryant Park was back in, I want to say 2012, 2010, somewhere around there, when I thought nobody would show up. I was in the wrong part of Bryant Park, and I came over and there was 250 people together, and the police came by because they thought that we were Occupy Wall Street. If you remember the old Occupy thing that was going on, we were not. And then we sort of literally paraded down the promenade to the Disney store, and that was a great event. I have to find some pasta pillows with cheese. That's Angela's children. It's the way they describe, or Angela taught them to describe, ravioli. So the first Rainforest Cafe was Mall of America. Well, technically, Steve, the first Rainforest Cafe was in your living room. Right, the Rainforest Cafe experiment. I love that story. You know what? I still have a copy of Steven's book. It's a jungle in there. It's a jungle out there. It's a jungle somewhere. I have a signed copy of your book that I had from Momentum. I'm going to give it away on a contest. Maybe I'll do it either on the show this week or a live show next week. It is a fascinating read, not just about Steve, but about passion and drive and persistence and patience and entrepreneurship. Like, he is the poster child for all those things. Steve was also a keynote speaker at Momentum a few years ago. I will forever be grateful to you and for you for doing that. So Let's see. When is the date for the hypothetical trip to London, Paris going to be announced? Hypothetically, in the next couple of weeks. Hypothetically, it will be announced next couple. We're waiting for some final details and approvals and then contracts and all that kind of stuff. And then I promise we will announce it. I do expect, though, I very much expect the London-Paris trip based solely on interactions I've had with you on live shows, interactions I've had with many of you privately on DMs and emails, and the feedback that we got on the cruise. I think London, Paris is going to sell out very, very, very quickly. So be ready for when that gets announced. Becky says it's not ready yet. A week or two sounds about right. So let's see. Darren says, I love my shake on the... Darren, I've never seen anybody drink a shake with a donut on top that quickly. I literally, I turned around. We were outside on deck 11 watching Enchanted or whatever it was on Funnel Vision. I look over. Your wife was aghast at the fact that you got this giant shake from Sweets. What is it? Sweets and Treats, whatever. The ice cream place. I turned around to have a conversation with someone. I turned back around. You're like a cartoon character, your giant tongue is just like licking your lips, and you're like, I'm all done. Like you drank the shake and ate the donut in like 42 seconds. I'm not disgusted. It's more of admiration than anything else. The ABD California Hollywood Nism with some super extras. Beatrice Dennis, the ABD California, which we've done. It used to be called Backstage Magic. It's called something. It's what is it? Disneyland in Southern California. It's called something different now, or maybe it's back to Backstage Magic again. I still remember vividly the first time that we did that and having no idea what to expect, because I love going to the ABDs relatively blindish too and being surprised, as I did when we were in Italy, as I did. It is a super fun. And if you've ever thought about an Adventures by Disney and you're not sure if you're ready to sort of take the leap to go overseas, to go to China, to go to Japan, the domestic ones are amazing. We're going to do our Wyoming one. It literally is technically counting down to weeks. I believe, Becky Menken, correct me if I'm wrong, this is sold out now. But no matter what, the domestic Adventures by Disney, and we do have some WDW group ones that we have been talking about putting together, is a great way to sort of dip your toe in the water. And everybody that I talk to about this says that I'm going to be blown away. I really don't know a lot other than I want to be surprised, but some of the domestic ones is a really sort of great way to familiarize yourself. And I very, very highly recommend, if you can, come and do it with us. Doing them as a group, it's just a different experience, and you know that you're not alone, right? You know that you have friends there. And when we do these, thanks to Mouse Fan Travel, we sort of add a little bit of extra special pixie dust on top. Let's see. Marla says, I'm hoping to find dining buddies for the Mexican restaurant in the Dolphin when I'm there in November. Why are you looking any farther than right here, right now? Let's talk separately. I have not been to Rosa Mexicana yet, other than the media event. It was delicious, by the way. If only there was anybody who would come to a live dining review, because that's what Walt Disney World, the Mexico Pavilion is great. It's fine. But authentic Mexican food from a scratch kitchen with a huge menu is a very, very welcome addition to not just Walt Disney World, but the area as well. Ashley Grissom, I promise you that there are conversations happening about West Coast Adventures, not West Coast Avengers, and those two, but West Coast Adventures. Kevin, missed you and your son at Star Wars Celebration this year. Japan in 2025. I can neither confirm nor deny that we are going to Japan in 2025 for an Adventures by Disney and Star Wars Celebration. Becky, I'm not giving away any information other than the possibility that going to Japan for an Adventures by Disney and Star Wars Celebration in 2025 is something that may or may not possibly have been hypothetically spoken about. Shut up, Mangello, or I will shut. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm just moving on. Let's see. Starla says, I am dying. Yes, dying to go to London. Don't die yet. Please don't die yet, because we would love for you to come with us. Connor Brown, is it the Connor Brown of the WDW Opinion Connor Brown? Going on the Wish for the first time next week. It is the first 25th anniversary sailing for DCL. What's the one can't miss? Why did you, first of all, why are you going without me? What is the one can't miss food item on the Wish? Connor Brown. By virtue of you asking that question, it tells me a couple of things. One, you've never listened to my podcast. Two, you've never tuned into a live show. And three, you completely ignore all of my text messages and email messages and deliveries. Without question, two things that you need to do. 1923 is the best restaurant, hands down, bar none. Paulo and Enchanté and Remy, I'm talking to you. 1923 is the best food on Disney Cruise Line. When you go there, you don't need the menu, because you're going to get the tuna appetizer, you're going to get the pasta appetizer, you're going to get the steak, and you're going to get the apple tart for dessert. You're welcome. Deck 11, Mickey's Festival of Foods. I don't know what they do to the pizza up there to make it so good, but it is redonkulous. Is it even better than chicken tenders there? Possibly. Also, the Mexican build your own burrito / build your own bowl is awesome. The barbecue is great. Everything up on Deck 11, like they really sort of turned Deck 11, turned it up to 11 because it's that good. But those and 1923, you're welcome. And order chicken tenders via room service and send me a not so creepy picture of you with your chicken tenders eating room service, because that. Becky says, yes, we still can add to Wyoming. So if you are interested in joining us in Wyoming, Becky says you can. We will make room for you. July 19th through 25th, 7 days, 6 nights, family friendly. My kids are coming. Your kids can come. You can come by yourself. We have plenty of folks who've come solo. ABD is a great, going on an ABD with us is a great way to travel solo, because you're traveling solo, but you're not alone, right? You can do things on your own if you want, but you are part of the group. And like I said, you are more like family. Sharon says Wyoming and Yellowstone are amazing. Yellowstone is my favorite part. Kenneth says Rose Mexicana is fantastic. I've heard nothing but good things, and the little taste that I did have, Kenneth, was insane. It was insane. Becky says, I just gave up. I'm trying to keep your mouth closed about 2025. Ha ha, ha ha, ha. I can't help it. I'm excited. When I see my friends, I get excited. Did Lou fail NDA in law school? Notice that I am no longer a practicing attorney. That's all I'm going to say. So I set expectations. I know that when I say one food item, I'll get 5 food, and I'm good with that. So you're welcome. You are very, very welcome. But you're gonna have a great time. You're gonna love the Wish, I hope. So, oh yeah, Mary, you're right. Marceline Market. Gosh, I feel sacrilegious saying this, but it's true. Marceline Market is greater than Cabanas. I know. I feel like I'm betraying Cabanas, especially having just come from Cabanas saying that, but it really is, it really, really is that good. The pizza is fantastic, Angela confirms, as if I would lie to you about pizza, which I would not. But even like on the Wish, on the Fantasy, it was fine, especially late night watching Funnel Vision. But my son and I, who every late night we were eating pizza and chicken tenders together, we even commented how much better. Because on the Wish, Connell, they'll make it for you. Tell them I send you. Tell them Lou sent you. They will make it for you fresh. They'll make you a pizza, not a slice of pizza, but a little Connor-sized pizza for you with whatever you want on it, fresh. It takes like 5 minutes. It's perfect. Crust is thin. It stands up on its own. It's got that little bit of a char and a sear on the end. It's really, really nicely done. I was very, 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 very pleasantly surprised. Beatrice says also, Marceline Market does in fact hit better. So let me ask you this: as long as we're just quickly talking, and this is a very unofficial poll, although I will probably put an official one in the clubhouse at some point. Where else would you like to go together? Now, it doesn't have to be. It could be an Adventures by Disney. It can be a Disney cruise. It can be a Aulani, a Disney park somewhere around the world. It could be something else, right? There's been other things that I've done on the road, including some. There was one that I started planning and then COVID hit, looking to do something like a Marceline, going back to the Family Museum in San Francisco. There's a couple of other destinations, because it's not necessarily about where you are, but it's the idea of doing it together. So where else would you like to go? Mary T. Wells, I agree with you 1,000%. I love the magic. I am trying to find a way to get us back on one of the classic ships again. Finding a way to get back onto the Wonder and or the Magic. Man, do I wish that the Magic sailed out of New York for a Marvel Day at Sea cruise, because we had an idea in place that obviously did not happen that would have been awesome. But I love the Magic. I love the Wonder. Elizabeth, everybody's going to say Alaska. We absolutely want to do Alaska again. We actually talked about it this year. It's not going to happen this year, or maybe 2024. It possibly could be a 2025 type of thing. We talked on the cruise about some potential options, which I will save that for later. Hannah Bird says Africa. Ashley says, meet up on the Toontown grass. Victor Miller, I promise you, my friend, that at some point we will meet and eat in Tokyo Disney Sea together. A Japan ABD is without question something that is on the part of the conversation, and at some point soon will be on the books as well. Excuse me, another Alaska. Pacific Northwest. Anna would love to go to Marceline. So, Connor, I wanted to go but isn't the Disney 100 exhibit, isn't that closing soon? Like, doesn't it close and travel soon? So, believe it or not, I actually looked, and one day I found JetBlue fares round trip. It was like $69 each way. I'm like, wait a minute. I could theoretically fly up in the morning, stop for a cheesesteak first because priorities, go to the exhibit, and turn around and fly back that night, or even like the next morning. Somebody tell me when does the Disney 100 exhibit in Philadelphia close? Because maybe how fun would that be if we could find those kind of rates and did like a shoot up, shoot back, even if it's like a same day or overnight, like cheesesteak and Disney 100 event. That would be cool. Like, that would be super cool. I would love to do that. Kenneth, I said I did not get a chance to try the room service chicken tenders, but what's better, flows or room service tenders? So first of all, Kenneth, get Becky Mankin on the phone right now and book another cruise, because you need to experience what it's like to have those golden brown crispy tenders just uncovered in your stateroom with the barbecue sauce and the French fries. I don't know what it is. I don't know why they taste slightly different than they do up on Flows. I don't know if they're different chickens, if it's different breading, I know it's obviously a different kitchen. I don't know what it is, but there's something about being in your, let's just call it for G-rated purposes, your onesie in your room, watching Big Hero 6, which is what I was falling asleep to, watching Big Hero 6 and having chicken tenders brought right to you. They may taste a little bit better. They might just taste a little bit better. So now you have to go back. It would be great to sail out of New York, says Valerie Seidel. We did that a few years ago. We did our one-way, gosh, this was so good. We did a one-way cruise from New York to Puerto Rico. Becky, what was it, 7 days? And then some of us actually stayed in Puerto Rico for a couple of days. I have 3 words for you. Mofongo. It's one word, but 3 syllables. Mofongo is so good. We had a really, really nice time when we did that. I would love to sail out of New York again. Um, Scott Clark says Aulani, Hawaii, Australia. Kim says Japan, Hawaii, Alaska. The treasure. It's going to happen. And Australia, New Zealand. Disney, Shanghai, and Hong Kong. I would love to go. Becky is taking notes feverishly over there. Tokyo Disney Sea. Love the Family Museum in San Francisco. If you go to the Disney 100 exhibit, I will go and meet you, says Elizabeth. Probably in some sort of matching themed outfit. And you, Elizabeth, you commit. Like, it's not just the outfits. It's the hair. It's the nails. It's everything. I applaud that. I dig that about you. Kelly Freeman brings up the bus tour across the country. Listen, the bus tour has been something that's been joked about and then sort of somewhat seriously looked at. Again, right before pre-COVID, we were like, can we actually do this? Can we do like a bus tour? Live streaming most of it just to see the dynamic between Becky and I. First of all, I want to just see Becky I will pay cash money to see Becky in a bus. Like living in a bus for however long, I give her 9 hours tops. Because even in Italy, she'd get the heebie-jeebies, like being on the bus for a few hours. Could you imagine Becky and I in a bus? She would lose her marbles. The Disney 100 is open through the summer, maybe August 27th. It's not out of the question. It's not really out of the question, especially if we can do something, if we could do like a 1-day type of thing. And whether we fly there quickly from Orlando, if you're in Philly, you drive down from New York or New Jersey or Connecticut, do like a 1-day in Philly meetup and event, unless, of course, those stupid Eagles are playing the Giants, and then we can go to that horrific state. I would get murdered. If I wore my Giants blue in that stadium, I would literally probably not come home. But you had me at cheesesteaks and Disney 100 exhibit. Anna says it's coming to Kansas City, so you could do that with a trip to Marceline. Also interesting. Brett, yes. My family was not happy about. So very quickly, Chicken Tender Man has a meeting. We did a bunch of us participated in what was it called? The Marvel Ultimate Fan Challenge. There was a bunch of us from our group and other people there, and it came down to me and one other person, and we're on stage, and the host AJ, who was probably the best host for like the game shows and activities I've ever seen on Disney Cruise, says to the girl, you know, what would be your superhero name? And she's like, I don't know. He's like, okay, her name is I don't know. He says, what's your name? And I'm like, you freeze. And Steven calls out from the audience in a wonderfully supportive way, Chicken Tender Man. So I'm like, okay, I'm Chicken Tender Man. I'm still getting grief from my family, who's probably never going to come with me again about being called Chicken Tender Man. But I did you proud, WDW Radio family, and I emerged victorious. I have no medal to show for it because they didn't give me a medal. That's fine. But I know that I have the win in my heart and the tenders in my tummy to celebrate the victory. So, Disney 100 ends August 27th at the Franklin Institute. We could possibly do. Somebody remind me of this because we actually could make all of that happen. Becky says, I'm all in for the bus tour. I need to see it. Let's actually see that happen. Like Becky in a bus in a confined space that does not have a concierge lounge for more than 11 hours. What I want to see happen. No, what I want to see is we're going cross country. It's like the Cannonball Run without the speeding and Dom DeLuise, but stopping at a truck stop. And I just want to watch, and I will live stream Becky coming out of the bus where I'm sure she's going to be enthralled to have been cooped up there with me and being like, Becky, not only are you going to use the restrooms in the truck stop, but you are going to eat there as well. That right alone will be worth the price of admission. I would pay good money for that, and it'll be a pay-per-view live stream at WDWRadio.com. So, Becky in a bus, God. Angela says, I will meet you in Philly, but Andrew, we have to get one of those hot dogs that you told me about last night. You gotta be one of those like special, cool, super weird hot dogs that you told. I don't even know if they have those in Philly, but I'm Philly. It's all about the cheesesteaks. And if you're going to Pat's or Gino's and the debate rages on, there usually is one clear winner, or you just get one from both, which is what I did a few years ago. I spoke to a couple of schools up in Pennsylvania. The person who organized it with me, who I don't think is here, brought me to the airport. We had some time. He's like, you want to grab a cheesesteak? And so we went to downtown Philly, and we went to Pat's, and we went to Gino's, because, I don't get there that often, and I had to have both. It's fine. Eventually my heart, eventually my blood thinned, and I was able to get my heart pumped again, but gosh, it was so good. I will not want to drive. You do not want me to drive the bus. Lisa Eichenberger, Bradford, first time joining. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Where are you from? And what is your favorite place to eat in Walt Disney World? Go, because I honestly care about both of those. Oh, Bruce Brodsky and Marianne. I love Bruce and Marianne. Like Bruce, again, Bruce has been around for a long, long, long time. So Becky says, I get to listen. That's fine by me, because I know the kind of bus you're going to pick. Like, it's not going to be a VW bus. You're going to pick, like one of those Madden cabin cruiser trailer luxury thingamajiggies. And we can stop at a Buc-ee's. I've never been to a Buc-ee's. I've heard of the Buc-ee's. Somebody sent me a Buc-ee's Tervis. I had a long conversation with somebody at the Meet of the Month in Tomorrowland a couple weeks ago about Buc-ee's. I have never been yet. But I've been to Stuckey's. We used to drive from New Jersey to Florida, and we've driven cross country a number of times. I used to love Stuckey's. I can see the Stuckey's sign and the Stuckey's truck stops. At 5 o'clock in the morning, my dad would stop for gas and food, and we would go into Stuckey's. Fred, it's not even a question. You always get Wit Whiz. You always get Wit Whiz. Cheese Whiz and onions is what Wit Whiz is. Tampa Bay and an annual pass holder. Going to Magic Kingdom tomorrow. Lisa, what is the thing that you are most looking forward to seeing or doing or eating when you get into Magic Kingdom? Andrew Prince, I was just thinking about you because says, I'm sorry we missed the Bermuda cruise. Ready to sail with you again. Andrew, I was just talking about the cruise that we took from New York to Puerto Rico. And honestly, I'm not kidding you. One of my fondest memories of any of the WDW Radio cruises was when we got to Puerto Rico. We were staying at a wonderful hotel right on the water. And me and you and your mom were hanging out in the water. You had one of those cool, like, floaty chair type of things. So you were able to sort of like hang out in the water with us. And we just sat there for what seemed like hours, right? As the sun was going down, just talking and enjoying the water. And that really was a favorite memory of mine, not just with you, but on any of the cruises. And that's been 10 years, 10 years ago. So, Sharon, I've heard of the beaver nuggets at Buc-ee's, and the beaver nuggets. I've also heard about the, oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? The beef jerky. Like there's like a beef jerky bar, like fresh made beef jerky, which is like at a different level. I cannot wait. Alyssa, you will love Tron. If you can get on at night, even better. But even if you get on during the day, it doesn't matter where you sit. There is no bad seat. I absolutely love Tron. So Darren says, bucket list for a guy from Maine, annual pass, check. Disney cruise, check. Run Disney event, check. Meet of the month, not yet. Stay tuned. I'm going to try. I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm going to try, and I'm not obviously going to get one in April. May is going to be a little tricky with just, there's a lot of stuff going on and coming up, and some unexpected travel that I'm going to be doing. And I don't want to really do it over Mother's Day weekend. So it might be one of those midweek meets. Maybe I'm going to send an email and try and see if I can arrange the midweek meet of the month / live video / gathering thing that you've probably never done before, that I think would be a lot of fun. So Bucky's brisket breakfast tacos. Connor Brown. Those are some of my favorite words in the English language. I've never heard them put together in such a beautiful Shakespearean type of way. Brisket breakfast tacos. My heart is all aflutter. Maybe Connor and I need like a mini road trip, over to Bucky's to check that out. I have to jump off. Super excited to be in your orbit. Listen, thank you very much for being here. Please come back next week, and of course, tell a friend as well. So I'm actually going to be calling it. I'm going to be saying goodnight relatively early-ish tonight. Again, I've got an event tomorrow morning. I've got my retreat this weekend. I've got some other things going on here that I cannot share just yet. Connor says, pile into the family, trucks or kids. We're driving to Daytona for Bucky's. Hey kids, Big Ben, Parliament. We'll be seeing Big Ben in Parliament in 2024 at a date to be named later. But this has been really helpful. Hopefully Becky has been taking notes, as I have been making mental notes about upcoming adventures that we are planning in the future. If you haven't checked out our first part of our recap of our Adventures by Disney to Italy, it is the subject of this week's podcast. Please check it out. Tell a friend. More importantly, share it on social. Tag me at Lou Mangello. I'll be sure and not only reshare it, but I will follow you back and just spread the word and the love as well. Again, it sounds like Becky says she can make some magic happen and maybe squeeze one or two more into our Adventures by Disney to Wyoming coming up this summer. I cannot wait for that. And of course, don't forget about our WDW Radio Nat Geo Expedition, December 9th through the 16th. Our exclusive $750 off discount expires Friday. You need to sort of book by Friday in order to take advantage of that discount. We have a really, really nice group of people coming to this. I cannot wait. I know there's some other things we've got planned and coming soon. Speaking of other events, non-Disney related, but in Walt Disney World coming up, my Momentum Weekend Workshop in Walt Disney World, September 29th through October 1st, with the optional Mastermind Day on Monday. Tickets are now on sale. You can take advantage of the early bird discount now. If you have any questions, just go to LouMangello.com, click on Momentum, or shoot me a message and let me know. And while you're there, you can also get a sneak peek of the brand new LouMangello.com website. Check it out. Let me know what you think. If you find any typos, duplicates, errors, whatever, you want to help me with some copywriting, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I also mentioned earlier, if you want to help me out with a little bit of short form video editing, if you have any experience with that, please reach out and let me know. And there was something else. I wanted to share. I don't know what it was. But the most important thing I want to share is you. Thank you for not just being here tonight, not just listening to the show and giving me the gift of sharing something I love so much with you for 18 plus years. It is unbelievable when I get to say that and share that number because it is so meaningful to me. If you are a member of the WDW Nation, none of this happens without you. I appreciate your friendship and I appreciate your support. Everything that we do happens because of your incredible generosity. I love being able to give back to you each and every month, and I love the fact that it obviously benefits the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. Thanks to you, we've raised more than $550,000 to send children with life-threatening illnesses and their families to Walt Disney World. To find out more, to be part of the Nation family, please visit WDWNation.com. Be part of the community and conversation if you aren't already in the clubhouse. You have created an absolutely remarkable, special place where anyone and everyone is welcome. Everyone has an equal say and an equal voice, and it truly is a place of family. And of course, don't forget, if you are coming with us on any of our adventures, if you want to create your own, if you want to choose your own adventure, going to not only any Disney destination, cruise line, Aulani, overseas, it doesn't matter. You can go and visit mousefantravel.com. Not only will you get an incredible level of personal service, right? They treat you like family there. It's why I love them. It's why I use them. It's why I trust them. It's why I recommend them. But it all comes at no cost to you. Don't forget that. And finally, and most importantly, you are the embodiment of choose the good. I saw it on the cruise. I see it on social. I see it in interactions that I have with you. Choose the good, again, it's not a line. It is not, it's not a buzzword. It's something I believe. It's something that, it's the way I live my life, and it's the way I see you doing it as well. It's why this place and this community is so special. Please, everything that you do, everyone that you meet, look for and find the good and spread and share that positivity with others. I promise you, you will not only feel better about yourself, but you will make other people feel better as well. And as I said at the very beginning, coming full circle, it has this incredible ripple effect on others. And if there's ever anything that I can do for you, please reach out and let me know. I will do anything to show my gratitude and appreciation to you and for you. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope that this is your best week ever. So until next time, good night. See ya.